Hello, hello. As I was looking at the stock news of today, I bumped into this article which is about Turo, a well known company, a big one, that's aiming to go public and has filed for an IPO, and that's going to happen in 2022. So I don't know if you're aware about what Turo is doing. It's kind of like the Airbnb for cars. So Airbnb obviously allows people to come together and agree on renting an apartment or a house or whatever, a mansion even. And Turo does the same thing for cars. So if I need a car, I can contact the application, and the application brings me quite a few potential people who want to rent their car for some money, and I decide which one I want to rent. I meet the person, give them some information about my license, my driver's license, and all that, and I get the car for as long as I need to use it. That's how it works. So it's peer to peer, as you see here. Now, companies like Turo tend to be high growth companies that could potentially be losing a little bit of money when they first join the market, maybe for a few years even, just to sustain that growth and keep growing the business. So you would potentially expect to see such a company maybe having a little bit of a loss of money instead of making money. Now let's take a closer look here. So it was founded in 2010 and has been compared to Airbnb for cars, obviously, yes. And you can find it in many cities. I got it from Munich myself. And the reason why it's a good potential option to use this service is basically price. It tends to be probably maybe 60% of what you would pay if you went with one of the well-known providers, rental cars. And it's convenient as well. You don't have to do too much. It's a very simple way of getting a car for a few days or so. And so people like it, and it's actually also very convenient that they have a very nice application that you can consult whenever you want to rent a car. And as I mentioned, you just meet the owner and you get the car for a little while. But let's take a look at the financials that we know about. Obviously, this is not an IPO, but we still know some things about the financials of the company, which we can talk about here and we should be aware of if we ever want to get into Turo. So in 2020, it generated a net revenue of 150 million, which was a 6% growth from the previous year, which is very little for such a company that requires massive growth, really, especially as it's about to become an IPO. And it had some net losses, which, as I mentioned, you would potentially expect, yeah. And so they boast about some notable tools that they have created, like the Turo Risk Score, which kind of dynamically adjusts fees that Turo charges guests in order to book a car. And I don't know. Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, I don't know how innovative it is in terms of revenue, but it may be. It may be because it's an interesting tool that could make it even more affordable for some hosts. So it's interesting. Okay. And it has generated 330 million in net revenue in the first 9 months of 2021, which is very notable here because it's a whopping 207 increase from 107.8 million for the same 9 month period in 2020. That's substantial growth here in terms of revenue. But its net loss is expanded as well. And I assume that this has to do with operations and maybe leverage as well. I'm not sure. But the reason, as it says here, is Turo notes that in its S1, that revenue increased in the number of days booked, rose along with gross booking value per day. So the company tightened in spending in 2020 with operating expenses dropping to 95 million, which is a pretty steep growth here, drop here. That's nice to say. And yeah, the first 9 months of 2021 has been doing well, even though we're in a pandemic. So that's interesting to notice. And you would expect that as we exit the pandemic, maybe the company has potential to do even better, actually. And yeah, as it says here, Turo could have been affected by the volatility that COVID has arguably caused to its business for sure. And yeah, there is, yeah, as it says here, there is some potential risk factors like liabilities that for Turo being liable for lawsuits from cities and all that. You would expect that, and you are seeing that with Airbnb and all sorts of these kinds of intermediate services, proxies that connect people for renting and buying things. And then the article talks a little bit about opportunities here and growth, potential growth. And so we do know that the market is huge. It's 146 billion, but that doesn't say much. I mean, you have to be getting a pie of the market. I mean, Turo does get a pie. I don't know how much it will keep getting, but it's a notable company and it's a notable IPO. Now, what would I do with this one? I'll definitely be following when the company files actually and goes public. They have filed. When they actually go public and the stocks are tradable, I will be taking a closer look and I will potentially create a video about it when the time comes. But I would wait it out a little bit, see how that plays out in the first 1 or 2 months. And generally speaking, I don't like entering IPOs unless it's like something that's doing super well already. Because I do want to take a look at public data when they come out in the first quarters or so. I don't want to have this information before deciding whether to invest in a company or not. So I'll be waiting a little bit till that happens. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you may want to take a look at this one that I created yesterday about Zynga and being acquired by the Take-Two Interactive. It's a very, very interesting piece of news. Thanks for watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.